Hello everyone, so this is going to finish off our week on setting. So the other day we talked about physical setting, what the place looks like. Are there trees? Are there bridges? Is there grass? Flowers? Are there animals nearby? Are they in a city and there's tall buildings? So now we're going to look at a different areas of setting, I should say. Excuse me. So this is social setting. So you can look at the community or the culture in which a story takes place. You can look at and think about what people are wearing and what they're eating, how people speak. The other day in our story, Too Many Tamales, they used some other words, and like tamales was important, and that was important to their culture, and it's also what they were eating, and the ring got stuck in there, so that was very important, and that's part of the setting. Their beliefs, their values, rules for behavior. So if we look at these two pictures here, we can see just by looking at the setting that they're not in the same place. These people are doing the same thing. Some are getting food and others are making the food like a restaurant. But they're not in the same place. So you can see that this one has lots of different food options, where it looks like this truck here just maybe have sandwiches because there's only like buns, like the bread sitting out that we can see. And then the other picture, we can see different types of food. I'm also noticing in the bottom picture here that there's a lot of people. You can see people riding more motorcycles and walking. And then they've got a motorcycle here and another type of scooter. So there's a lot more people, where in the top picture, it's just the chef, the girl, and then it looks like there might be one other person over here that kind of got cut off. But you can also notice where they are by looking at the background. Here I see lots of trees. You can kind of see in the reflection there, and on the side and a little bit over here that there's trees. And in the background of this picture, there's no trees. There's very tall buildings, it looks like. So it looks like they might be in a city here, whereas in this picture, maybe they're by a park or somewhere with a lot of trees at least. So material culture is also important to setting. So when you talk about materials, we're thinking, again, food, clothing, jewelry, their homes, or other objects that are important to the story. So if we think back to our Moana story in our movie that we were talking about the other day, things that are important: Moana's necklace, where she keeps the gem, and then the gem itself would be an example of the physical objects. Homes, you can see like this style of home where Moana lives is very different from where Cinderella lives at the end of her story. So like what the homes look like is also important, and where they are. So you can see in Moana's there's lots of palm trees and there's mountains, and that's a very different setting from other stories and movies. So today, you're going to listen to the story, Chicken Soup, Chicken Soup. And again, you have 3 questions and to draw a picture. So I'll go over the 3 questions and go over what you're going to draw. And then you can make sure you listen to the story and answer the questions. So the first question here, again, is where does the story take place? So there's a couple of different places that the little girl goes. I'll give you that hint. In fact, there are 3 different places. The second question here, The second question says what things, food, jewelry, or others, etc., is important. So I bet you can kind of guess by the title, but there is something, food or jewelry, I'll give you that hint, that's very important to this story, and that's what the story is focused on. So I want you to tell me what that is. And then the third question is, what 2 cultures are in the story? What are the two cultures in the story? Yes. So what I mean by that is that the little girl has two grandmas here and here. One grandma is from one type of culture. So an example of culture could be like Puerto Rican. So she could have, like, one family is Puerto Rican, another family could be Guatemalan or from Colombia. Different places like that can be different cultures. So her two grandmas are from two different places, and so that is part of their culture, and that's also very important to the story. So I want you to tell me what those two are, and then how are they brought together at the end? The little girl does something to mix it together. Hint, hint, hint. And then in the house here, I want you to draw a picture of this question, actually. What was the food that was super important? And I'll give you one last hint. There are two foods. Well, there's one food, but two kinds that are important, okay? So where it is, where do they go in the story? What things are important? What are the two cultures? And how are they brought together? And then I want you to draw a picture of the two foods. Please make sure when you are done, you send me a picture on Class Dojo so I can grade it.